we're going to show you exactly how people are landing 50k tech sales roles with pretty much no experience needed.
In 2026, whether you want to become a BDR, SDR, or an AE, no experience needed, as Zero said. I'm sure you've seen the surge of people landing tech sales roles on social media and making upwards of 50k in their first year. And you're probably wondering why that isn't you yet. And it's probably not a skill issue, probably not an experience issue, and it's definitely not the job market because opportunities have been at an all-time high.
Yep.
So what do you think it actually is? We're going to show you why you're not landing a role and the smarter way to land a role in 2026. Let's get into it.
Well, what it is, in fact, what it isn't is Indeed and LinkedIn Easy Apply. Clearly, they don't work. And if you're watching this, you've probably experienced it yourself. Applying for dozens, hundreds of jobs and only getting a few messages back, inviting you for an interview.
Yeah, and no offers.
Mostly rejection emails, but yeah, no offers for you, unfortunately. But, it's not your fault, and you're not alone,
Yeah.
you see.
3 to 4 months, a few months,
Yeah.
6 months, January, 6 months. I'm sure this looks familiar, and we've all been there, right? We've all been there. You don't
I've
know
been
any
there.
better.
Yeah.
You've been there. I've been there, and I felt like I'm seeing these beginners get these 50, 60k roles, and I'm not getting it. Like, what? It's not my experience. I've got experience, or maybe I know how to speak. It's not my skill set. What is it? Well, my friend, this does not get you jobs, right? And yes, you don't know any better now, but after this video, you are going to be so educated on how to land a tech sales role that you will never touch any of these sites ever again.
Just
right?
delete them.
Delete them now, right? A live example of somebody deviating from this generic nonsense and using other methods of how to land a role is Sam, right? Sam booked 4 or 5 interviews in 1 week, a single week, by just thinking outside of the box, right? Here he got 3 more calls booked in, and he actually got inbound messages, getting invited to interviews, right? Look at this, one message here, another message there.
4 p.m., 5 p.m. in the same day. Like, the guy's getting the inbounds. People are inviting him, begging him to work for their company. Like,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. And like I said before, if you want to be like Sam, the first thing you need to do is delete Indeed and, I don't know, you can keep LinkedIn, but never use a LinkedIn Easy Apply again in your life because it doesn't work.
Yeah, we're actually going to give you a page out of our book on how to land a role the right way, and instead of months, closer to 30 days, right? But I guess why listen to us in the first place, right? So Jordan, I've cold called my way into Europe's fastest growing fintech company, and then I generated 250k new revenue within 4 months.
Yeah, and me, I quite literally just sent a cold email and a LinkedIn follow-up to a hiring manager at London's fastest growing YC, by the way, funded by millions, tech startup. And I got hired in 72 hours.
72 hours,
Yeah.
true story, by the way.
True story.
So I guess looking at both of our stories, what is the common denominator on what we did? It's quite literally cold outbound. It's very simple. Whether you're doing a cold email, a cold call, a cold message, or all 3, or 2, cold outbound is the new way to land a role, a sales role specifically, in 2026. And if you want to be in an industry that pays well, then it's tech sales, right? Do the role to get the role. Now, the main advantages of doing cold outbound to land a role.
Cold outbound is the most brain-dead way to stack interviews. There are a select few people that are literally getting 5 to 10 interviews in a single week, simply because they are able to reach out to hiring managers and turn those conversations into interviews. So within 5 minutes of speaking to someone, they've booked in an interview.
And I doubt anyone watching this has had, 5, 10, 15 interviews stacked in a week. Not that it's your fault, but platforms like LinkedIn Easy Apply and Indeed are just not designed for you to do that, right? And obviously less interviews means less chances of reaching second stage and third stage, and less chances of getting an offer. So stacking interviews really and truly equals a higher chance of landing and securing an offer.
Yeah. Another thing people don't consider is when you're applying to hundreds, dozens of jobs and you feel super burnt out and then you finally go on an interview, you completely stop applying. And I know you watching this, you've done the same thing. You finally got an interview and you can put all your eggs in one basket, and then you got to that final stage, and then you flopped it, and then you're back to square zero. You know, when you're stacking interviews, you have that abundance mindset rather than that scarcity mindset, and that reflects. Hiring managers can smell the desperation,
Literally.
and it doesn't smell nice, and they don't like people don't like smelly people.
It's true. Leading on to that, right? The second main advantage is just the evidence. It's literally leverage, right? Evidence in interviews that you can actually perform the role because you've literally done your job to get an interview for the job you're about to do. I remember my assessment centre day when I went to interview and I had to pitch myself for 30 seconds. I literally stood up and said, the only reason I'm here is because I cold called my way into this interview. And that was it. They're like, yep, you're hired. Obviously, they didn't say that to me there and then, but they said it in their heads, and I got the role. And it's one of those unspoken things where if you can do this, cold call your way into interviews, and you leverage that to show them, I did this to get here, you're basically in.
Yeah, and me myself, I've spoken to countless hiring managers, and I'm going to tell you something that most people don't actually know. So, you know when you apply to a job and you get rejected based on the fact you don't have much experience, or the other guy has more experience than you. But the only reason that line even exists is because people just like to make safe bets. They would rather go with someone that has more experience because it's an easy filter. Oh yeah, let's just go with the guy with more experience. When you're able to actually prove that you can do the job by treating the job search process like a sales process, you actually get hired.
Yeah, I mean, the person who wins is the person who can provide the most certainty to the hiring team, right? Because when they hire you, they're spending money on your paycheck and your commission. You are an investment. So every pound they put into you, they want 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 pounds back. They're a business, right? So if you can be the one who gives them the most certainty that you can perform the role, you're basically hired. And how do you give them certainty? Do the role. Show them you can do it, right? Show them by using Cold Outbound to book the interview at the very least, right? And listen, it's not your fault that you're kind of watching this and realizing you might have been going about things not the wrong way, but the way that just doesn't work anymore. That's exactly why we're showing you that there's a different way to do this. Now, if you're watching this, I never want you to use Indeed again. I never want you to use LinkedIn Apply again. I just want you to pick up the phone and call your way into those interviews.
Anybody watching this, I want you to understand that, well, I hope at least from this video, you now understand that there is a smarter way and a more efficient way.
And finally, just the obvious one, when you are cold calling to land interviews, you literally develop your skills and stay sharp at the same time, which is amazing.
Yeah, but it's pretty much like free sales training, really.
Yeah.
Another thing as well, guys, we literally have a free newsletter where we drop loads of gems just like this. If you like this video, you'll probably enjoy the newsletter and find it quite helpful. But yeah, we're going to leave a link somewhere on this page. But yeah.
Also, just find us on LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
And we will literally post more YouTube videos about this in the next coming days and weeks. So subscribe and like the video. And I hope you learn that role.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.